Welcome to Live Vedanta, a podcast about simple living and high thinking. Many of us feel we are fortunate for the lives we live, but in our day-to-day lives, we sometimes lose that feeling of gratitude. How can we make sure that feeling isn't totally lost? What are some of the things we can do to stay focused on what is important and permanent? Let's tune in to find out.
Hari Om. Greetings from Niagara Falls, and a joyous new calendar year to all. One of the most significant utsavas or days in our culture is Mahashivratri, and that's coming up soon. Whenever you see an icon, an image of Bhagwan Shiva, what do you see about him? What do you see on him? Please share in the chat all of the icons and images you know of Bhagwan Shiva. What do you see about him? What do you see on him? That he has three eyes, that there are snakes around, that he has a dark complexion, a damaru. He's wearing vibhuti. Very good. This is not the point I'm trying to make, but he doesn't have a dark complexion. That is inaccurate. Bhagwan Shiva is compared to be as white as snow and the moon and jasmine. And this is why you can see his blue neck due to the poison. If he had a dark complexion, if his skin was blue, we would never be able to see that. Again, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is he has a crescent moon in his hair. Often this is described as a crooked moon. Yet, when Bhagwan Shiva wears this crooked moon, it appears most beautiful. We feel like that moon is full. I'm sharing this with all of you because every day, every week, we struggle with this sense of incompleteness. Is this true? That I'm doing but not feeling. We are like this crooked moon. And this course, this class, this community, I want us to all feel that this is like Bhagwan Shiva in this example. Right here, right now, whatever sense of incompleteness you have, let it go. You are part of a community, a class, a course whose sole focus is completeness. Feel this. Tomorrow is Sankranti. Sankranti means well-evolved. Typically, this is in reference to the sun, that we're moving towards the sun. But we don't have to be so concerned with spatial arrangements. We have an opportunity to evolve well. We've always had this opportunity. I'm reminding all of you to recommit to this evolving well. We are all bhagya to be on this journey to joy together. On January 14th, 2008, that's when I began sharing what I learned in the ashram to our community, society. Tomorrow I will complete, or tonight I will complete 14 years of engaging in this full time. And I am most appreciative and grateful to all of you for helping me feel complete on this journey to joy. In creation, our rishis have analyzed that there are two types of births. In Sanskrit, the word is yoni. There are bhoga yonis, which means those births where one only evolves. What are these births? Stones, plants, animals, and these semi-gods, which we typically call as devas or suras, they are all bhoga yonis. Stones, plants, animals, their blueprint is that of papa or negativity. So as they experience that negativity, they evolve. Stones become plants, plants become animals, animals become humans. And even the semi-gods, they have a blueprint of punya, which is positivity. And when they experience this, they evolve to become humans. The second type of birth or yoni is known as a yoga yoni. And that is only in reference to humans. Yoga means to unite. Whenever we think of unite, we always think of uniting in a beneficial way, in a better way. But remember, I can also unite with devolving. If I'm climbing down a ladder, I'm uniting with that lower rung, correct? Humans have a blueprint that is mishra. Mishra means mixed. We have negativity or papa, and we have positivity or punya. And what is special about being born with this mixed blueprint, it is the negativity or the papa or the adversity in our life that makes us think more, makes us reflect more. Continuing with this analysis, plants and animals, and I should have included stones, and these semi-gods, they all have intellects like humans do. However, their intellects are not designed to think and reflect about evolution, are not designed like that. As much as you love your pets, they're not inquiring into who they are. Most humans aren't either, but we can. Humans do have an intellect that is designed to inquire into the fundamentals. And that's why stones and plants and animals and semi-gods cannot be enlightened. They cannot experience moksha. Only humans can. How? How are we to utilize, make use of this opportunity to be born as a human with this specially designed intellect? Traditionally, this is known as Antakarana Shuddhi and Jnana Pramana, which in English is purity and authority. When your inner world is purified, that means the mind and intellect, they're balanced and focused and reflective. Then, when a guide comes and shares that you are the source of joy, you are joy, we feel that authority. It impacts us. Purity and authority. If we think about all demographics of society, which demographic of society, which background would you classify as having the most purity and the most appreciation for authority? Please share in the chat. Think of all backgrounds, all sorts of humans. Good. All of you are flowing well. I was waiting for one of you to say your own name. I'm the most pure person I know. I have the most appreciation for authority. It is children. And this is why in our culture, From when a child can start to read letters and numbers, they are introduced to the Mokshapata. They are introduced to this game that the purpose of their life is to cultivate, to develop purity and authority so that they are enlightened and reach moksha. I was sharing with some seekers that where I live right now, this province, is in lockdown, which means everything is closed for some weeks. And those in senior kindergarten and above, they have to study virtually. So Vyasa has been at home with us, our older son, all week, and I do the morning shift with him. So I take him to our ashram. And he plays with his marbles and he is fascinated by agarbatti. It's petrifying to me about how fascinated he is with agarbatti. And recently he was sharing with me that the icon in our ashram is of Bhagavan Krishna and Bhagavati Radha. And he was sharing that, look, Bhagavan Krishna has a snake around him. It technically is a peacock, but for Vyasa, he interprets this as a snake. And I was so taken aback by his observation because usually when adults come to the ashram and they're in front of Bhagavan, where is their minds? Bhagavan's relationship is always in reference to them. What can I get from Bhagavan? How can Bhagavan help me? But for a child, Vyasa's 4.5 years old, what's Bhagavan's relationship? He's his own reference. Vyasa was not thinking about himself. He was thinking about Bhagavan Krishna. So how amazing in terms of being educators are our rishis to present this game to children. Now, I'm not going to ask how old you are. We should have been introduced to this game when we're 6, not 60. But I want you to approach this course like a child. Be childlike in this course. And what that means is you've come across most of these words already. Dukkha nivritti, yoni, etc. You've come across these, but be like a child and reflect on these words. Keep asking yourself, how can I live this or not live this? The negative words, not to live this. The positive words, to live this. This reflection is a catalyst to internalizing. When you eat food and you internalize it, it becomes a part of you, correct? Too much internalization happening. Too many parts of this body now. And my point is that once you internalize that food, it's never separate from you. When we reflect and internalize on these words, we will practice these words. These headspaces will always be with us. Our Mokshapata, headspace 1, began with avidya. Avidya is forgetting how to be happy. Forgetting the source of happiness. And I've already referenced that. This sense of incompleteness is with us every day, every week. And I'm not going to review all of the other words. I'm only going to review the last 2 words that we explored. Headspace 39, dukkha nivritti. Dukkha nivritti in English is escaping. What is escaping? What does this feel like in our lives? When we are busy. Today's January 13th, and already we're lost in being busy. Yes? Being busy is one who's focused on the functional and not the fundamentals. So how do we come out of this escaping and being busy? Focus on what's important. Your physical health, your mental health. And part of focusing on what's important is letting go of what's not important. I've been reflecting deeply on it simply does not matter what other people think of you. But if you can quantify how much of your headspace goes into being liked or dealing with being disliked, that is dukkha nivritti. That is living to escape from pain. The pain will escape only temporarily. Headspace 40, this is what we should evolve to, is sukha prapti. Sukha prapti in English is striving. Striving not to escape from pain, but to embrace peace. Sukha prapti is when you externalize less and internalize more. And what this looks like in our lives is you participate, you facilitate a self-reward system. A self-reward system. One who externalizes does because they want something externally. I want a check. I want recognition. But for those who are striving to embrace peace, they do, but they do not expect anything externally. All that happens internally. They feel quieter. They feel more independent. That's the self-reward system that I'm referring to. And the game changer to evolve from dukkha nivritti to sukha prapti is to have the right role models. With the wrong role models, we keep playing a game of escaping. But you will find with the right role models is that they have very little expectations externally. They have high expectations of themselves. And every time they practice calmness, quietude, etc., they're more independent. And that role model shows us that we can be the same way. We continue as we begin a new year and a new season. This is new content. Headspace 41 is bhagya. Bhagya. In English, this means fortunate. Fortunate. How many of you feel, by a show of hands, that you are fortunate? Okay. Why? Share with me in the chat. Did you think I was just going to look for your hand up? I want to know why you feel that you are bhagya. Everything. Bhagwan is always with you. You have a chance to study the scriptures. You're safe. You're born as a human. Good way to suck up based on everything that I described today. You have faith amidst adversity. Yes, yes, yes. Your bhagya, when this is in all ways, becomes Bhagwan. Please note this carefully. In English, Bhagwan is translated as God. And that's a really abstract word and sense. But in Vedic culture, Bhagwan is a very specific entity and experience. It means Bhagavan. Van means to have, to be, and Bhaga means virtuous. So what is Bhagwan? The one who has all virtues in all ways. We don't have all virtues, but even the virtues we have, they are not lived in all ways. Yes. All virtues, always. I'm very fond of this term Bhagwan because it's specific. It's something I can live towards. I don't have the time right now, but in the next class, I'll explain to you the 6 virtues that are associated with Bhagwan. One of them, actually, I'll just share the first one. The first one is Aishwarya. Bhagwan has Aishwarya in all ways. Now, there's lots of interpretations of Aishwarya. What it means is happiness, joy. Bhagwan is the one who is joyous. And that's why Bhagwan is always smiling. Now, how can we use this headspace, Bhagwan, Bhagya? Start with integrity. Integrity is when you are dissatisfied with knowing a value, but not living that value. Integrity is when you know a value and you live this. When you live this, this becomes a virtue. So integrity. Integrity plus opportunity. One of the most steady messages I've offered in this course particularly is every experience that happens to us is an opportunity to practice, is an opportunity to convert values to virtues. When someone smiles at you, that's an opportunity. When someone criticizes you, that's an opportunity. When you hurt yourself, that's an opportunity. When you're saved from an accident, that's an opportunity also. When you have this integrity that values are not enough, and you are clear that every experience is an opportunity, when those come together, you will feel serenity. Serenity. Integrity plus opportunity equals serenity. So asking again, how many of you feel bhagya? And I'm not asking right now, but I want you to reflect on this more authentically and deeply. Many of you wrote reasons like you have clean water, you have access to education, and so on. And that is beautiful. But the more meaningful experience of bhagya is serenity. Where is serenity? In you, as you. And I'll introduce the second word. Number 42 is deha. 42 is deha. Can you point to me where your deha is? Deha means body. Deha means body. But where you pointed is marginally inaccurate. Because aren't your skin cells constantly floating away? Isn't your hair constantly falling off? So where is your deha? Everywhere. And eventually it will rest where you're sitting, correct? As in the ground. Deha or body is an equipment. An equipment. Share with me in the chat all of the equipments that you have used in 2022. Not all. Share some of the equipments that you have used in 2022, just the last 2 weeks. A snow shovel? Do you mean a snow blower? A car, a bicycle, a laptop, a hammer, a pencil. All of you deep students, the BMI. A dhoti. And all of these equipments, you essentially use them, and when you're done using them, you let them go. Yes? Do you have the same relationship with the body? Another word for body is sharira. Sharira means that which is forever perishing. And if you didn't get what I'm saying, I'll share it differently. Forever dying. Everyone who's dying, please put your hand up. We're all dying. But what part of us is dying? The part that is dying is this equipment. And we have all used a million equipments in our lives. We've used them. We've stopped using them. Feel that the body is the same way. And a way to practice this. Healthy versus beauty. Healthy versus beauty. What should your body be? Healthy or beauty? I know it's beautiful, but doesn't it sound better? Healthy, beauty. Yes, they both end in Y. You'll remember it more. My English is poor, but not so poor. Healthy. Only use this body to be healthy. Stop doing whatever you do to enhance the beauty of this body. You can all do it. Will you all do this? It's up to you. If you want to stop feeling like you're dying, practice. But if you want to keep feeling like you're dying, then keep investing in beauty. I'll share more on both of these words and more in our next class.
If you enjoyed what you heard or want to learn more, share this episode with a friend or find us online at facebook.com/cmniagara. For those on the journey of self-development, Chinmaya Mission Niagara provides a community forum for seekers to listen, reflect, and contemplate. This podcast is produced by the Young Adults of Chinmaya Mission, an international nonprofit working to transform individuals through the knowledge of Vedanta. Until next time, inspire, love, be.